The World Gold Council was out yesterday with a report suggesting that global central banks are diversifying their reserve portfolios. To talk about it with us today is Ashish Bhatia from the World Gold Council. Ashish, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about this. What were you finding with the diversification of reserve portfolios by these central banks?
Yeah, so what we found is that central bank reserve portfolios, these are the official reserves that they hold to protect the country, have grown tremendously in the past 12 years, from $2 trillion to $12 trillion. And now they're very concentrated in dollars and euro assets. And so there's been a shift to try to think about how they can diversify those reserves and exploring different asset classes to bring diversity. And one of those assets is gold. Since 2010, central banks have become net buyers of gold, and that trend has continued. So we did this research to try to understand, well, why are they buying gold,
right.
And to put a little context behind that.
So why is it that reserve banks want to look at gold? I mean, dollars and euros seem all right.
Yeah. Well, so the thing about gold is that gold does not correlate to most other assets. So it brings true statistical diversity to a central bank portfolio. And that's what comes out in the analysis that we did. So the analysis looked at, assuming that they're going to hold on to a certain amount of dollars and euros, how much gold should they have in the remainder of their portfolio? And what we found is that they should have around 8% of their portfolio in gold, of that remaining component. And that's consistent with prior analysis that we've shown, where gold should serve somewhere between 6 and 10% of the portfolio for central banks. And the reason, again, is because it's not correlated to most other assets,
Sure.
and it's a large and deep liquid market.
So final question is, retail investors, the average investor, is there anything they can glean from this report for themselves that might be useful?
Certainly. Central banks are all about wealth preservation and liquidity. So as a personal investor, you also want to think about wealth preservation. And so the results show that for long-term wealth preservation and for diversification purposes, gold has a very critical role to play. So for you and me, it's important for us to also consider that.
Sure. Well, Ashish, thanks so much for being with us. You heard it from him. Global central banks are looking at gold. They have been. Maybe it's something you should look at as well, beyond the greenback and the euro. I'm Joe Deaux, The Street.